What's good, everybody? My name is Will, and welcome back to another episode of Will on a Whim, Natural Hair Edition. Today, we're going to be going over one of the most important parts of growing out your hair. But first, go ahead and click that subscribe button for weekly videos on how to take care of your natural hair. Cut your hair. Okay, maybe not that dramatic. Cut your hair. That's better. Trimming. You know it's coming. So you telling me like I gotta cut my hair just to grow it out? Yeah. See, some people actually recommend that you cut your hair every X months or so, where the X will equal 3 or 6, and that sounds a lot like algebra, so I do things a bit differently. I trim my hair when I feel like I need it. If you're trimming your hair and you actually don't need it, then you're just cutting off length that's perfectly healthy. So the question becomes, when do I actually need a trim? Well, glad you asked. There are definitely a couple of things that you can identify that will tell you that you need to trim your hair. For example, dry ends. There are a couple of things that contribute to dry ends. The obvious one being lack of moisture. When you're moisturizing your hair, it's important that you pay special attention to your ends. It's the oldest part of your hair, okay, the OGs, okay, in your hair strand population. And you need to pay special attention to them because they've been exposed to damage for the longest. So another one happens to be lack of protection. If you're not keeping your hair in twists, a bun, braids, your ends are more exposed to damage. So it's pretty important to protect your style. Another one is if you are sleeping without a head wrap on. Anything cotton can kind of snag on your hair and really cause some damage to your ends. When your cuticle is damaged, it's being inhibited from retaining moisture because your cuticle scales are left open. And if you're not really familiar with that concept, go ahead and check out my video called Natural Hair, the Basics, for more on the structure of your natural hair strands. Ends that tangle. Okay, you know what they say about ends that tangle. Cut it, cut. Damage to your hair cuticle usually results in cuticles that remain open. When cuticles on various hair strands are remaining open, they're more prone to lock together, and that's what causes tangling. So excessive tangling at the ends of your hair strands may be a sign of damage. Breakage. So breakage is when your hair strands have been wearing a 10-inch pair of stilettos all day and they didn't pack a pair of flats, so they just fall off. They end up falling out. It's when improper care has just left your hair strands to the last straw. Now, a lot of people confuse shedding with breakage, but here's how you tell the difference. It's pretty normal for a person to shed around 50 to 100 strands of hair a day. Full hair strands. So the next time that you're doing your hair, pick up a strand that fell out and compare its length to the length of a hair strand that you have already on your head. If it's about the same length, then it's probably a shed hair. But if the length of the hair strand that you pick up when you're doing your hair is noticeably smaller, it's probably breakage. If you notice that your hair has been breaking off a lot lately, then you probably need a trim. I personally have been experiencing some breakage, so that's what today's video is about. I'm going to be showing you guys how I trim my hair. Let's get into it.
Goodbye.
All right, everybody, that brings us to the end of another episode of Will on a Whim, natural hair edition. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big old thumbs up. And for weekly videos on how to take care of your natural hair, just hit that subscribe button. Next Tuesday's video will be a Q&A, so if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below in the comment section. I'll see you all on next week, but until then, bye.